Last but not least, in the Throwback Thursday triple threat is also the movie, and I think I want to talk about Paddington. So, for people who haven't seen Paddington the movie, which has just been a year old, so yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, turn this off because it'll be major spoilers. As for the rest of you who actually saw the movie, well, thumbs up, let's get to it. So, Paddington is very, very surprising because, well, technically, I did know what I was getting into because in the actual trailers and stuff like that, you kind of get the gist of what happens with Paddington in a way. But they didn't actually talk about the hidden story, the untold story of Paddington there, which there is an untold story. They do it marvelously. And I'm like, Amazing Spider Man, you need to take notes. It's like if they were still alive. If that franchise was still alive, I would say, yeah, you guys need to take notes of what Paddington did because they actually nailed the idea of the untold story because they did a great job. That was awesome. So the crazier part has to be the fact of, well, I forgot Nicole Kidman actually was in this movie. So that was awesome. Just the fact of it was a year past and I straight up forgot that Nicole Kidman was a part of this movie, which was very, very good. Very, very good. And side note, of course, I'm a guy. I wouldn't mind Nicole Kidman hunting me down anytime. I'm a guy. What do you want me to say, huh? I'm just saying, I would be okay if she was the person who was hunting me down like a crazy psycho. I'm fine with that. I would be fine with that. Anyways, so with Paddington here, the intro was marvelous because they actually established something to make it make sense that Paddington exists. Unlike the book, which is like, oh, it just found a bear, and the bear was in the train station. It's like, well, that's cool and all, and it's a book, and it's a kid's book, so it's like, yeah, that's okay, that's a good starter. But they actually went back and said, you know what, we need to establish this. So they established the fact of how the bears speak. They established the fact of he liked marmalade, even though given technically in the book he grew to like marmalade because the Browns family gave him marmalade. But hey, it doesn't ruin anything. It just made it even better. The reason why they like marmalade, it made it so much better. Alright, so with that said, the fact of now, it's like a major disaster occurred. And since the major disaster occurred, Paddington lost a home. Sadly, the uncle is dead. And I kind of thought when the auntie was like going to the home for retiring bears, I thought she was like going, oh, you know, I would figure that was just some nice little lovely pillow talk of saying, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna go into a ditch and just die there. That's what I thought. Oh man. So Paddington gets to go to London now, and lots of stuff happens. And eventually he meets the Browns family, and I remember Mr. Brown from the book. He was a bit of a jerk. I kind of can remember that. The funniest part was that I didn't notice Judy was a girl until later. I was like, yeah, as soon as I heard the name Judy, I'm like, Judy? She's a girl? Because they kind of, her freaking hair blended so well with what she was wearing that I thought she had short hair and she was a guy. I thought it was just two boys. But wow, lo and behold, I'm like, wow, dude. Wow, your hair freaking blended in with your clothes. It's like, yeah, that was messed up right there. That was kind of messed up. Yeah, besides that, so you have like lots of stuff going on. They're introducing and everything, and then now comes the awesome thing of where it's like Paddington needs a place to stay. And what he's going to do is look for the Explorer because the Explorer actually said, if you're ever in London, you could definitely come to me. You could definitely have a home here with me. So now it's the journey or the search to find yeah, search to find this explorer. And we continue on, and we basically see Nicole Kidman's character. And one thing I knew about the freaking trailers before anything is just the fact of Nicole Kidman wants that bear. Nicole Kidman wants to have that bear for some reason. I could tell. It's like, yeah, she's a bad guy, so I'm like, yeah, it figures that Nicole Kidman is the person who wants that bear. So, yeah, she wants the bear, alright. So we just have to search around, and also there was like some disasters of Paddington. But of course, I do have to admit, when it comes to Paddington, it's like, but he's been in the jungle for all of his life. I would have figured you would have been like, okay, so what we need to do is, yeah, you go freshen up in the facilities, but hey, I should show you how to make those work. It's like, yeah, instead of making those work, it was like, no, you didn't make them work. Instead, you were like, go up there and you figure it out. You know how to do it. It's like, wow, that was kind of a disaster there. And of course, when the whole entire room was filled with water, I technically was like, open the window. Open the window. It's like, open the window, allow most of the water to just go whoosh right out that window. But okay, sure, why not? So eventually it comes to the search, and Paddington actually caught a robber. That was cool. That was a cool scene. Also, you get to learn that there was a guild for geologists. And it continued to do it, and they apparently, the guild where they went to, they had everything like straight up. Yeah, no one went to freaking Peru. And it's like, no one went to Peru? What about that freaking video we were all forced to watch, in quotations? Yeah, so they basically, and this is where it gets like, oh my freaking god, is that, so Mr. Brown poses as a woman, and then there was a guy hitting on him. Oh my freaking gosh, that was as bad as Mrs. Doubtfire. That was as bad as Big Mama's house with that old man saying, you can't get it, your love, babe. I'm like, ugh, damn. Damn. It's like, oh my freaking gosh, ugh, oh my gosh, ugh. So yeah, the guy freaking ew. Yeah, so they went in there, they found what they needed. Sadly, Paddington and Mr. Brown sent a sandwich and wrecked their whole entire inventory, or their messenger tube. So yeah, the messenger tube blew up, but suddenly Paddington's sandwich flew out of the freaking building and he caught it in his hand. It was just like, wow. Of course, the whole family got to see that video, and then after that, it was the search for the Montgomery guy, the explorer. So they keep on going, and they keep on going, and eventually it came to a messed up turbulence where Mr. Brown was being a big jerk and saying, you know what, we don't need him anymore. We shouldn't have him here. He was a big disaster and everything. So Paddington went on his own, and then after he went on his own, he was searching for those guys himself. Those were concerned. Oh yeah, and meanwhile, the reason why Paddington left was that Nicole Kidman's character found where he lived and tried to bag him in the house. The neighbor of the Browns actually snitched on him a little bit and actually fell in love with Nicole Kidman's character. So that was the crazy part. It was like, oh my gosh. It's like, I don't blame him. I would fall in love with Nicole Kidman too. There's a few times where I'm like, yeah, she is quite a dish. I'm a guy, leave me alone. But anyways, so she climbed up the top of his roof and then had some spy gear and descended down from the window. And then it was just some unbelievable thing because, well, Paddington number one kind of ripped a little bit of the phone book and tried to tape it together, but he taped himself. And then, yeah, the taping actually saved him. It kind of saved him from getting shot. So the trank dart missed, and then she descended down a little bit more, and then decided to hide. And while he was hiding, he accidentally hit the switch, and then eventually Nicole Kidman's character got blasted. The funny part is that Nicole Kidman's character did kind of cover her tracks, at least the trank dart and the white smoke can. Yeah, I think that was it. Other hand, though, she did kind of leave the trank dart that was in the green apple. There is your loophole number one, is the fact of you didn't show her get rid of that trank dart, so that should have been something right there that was like, oh. Yeah. Anyways, after that, Paddington then was looking for him. Paddington then was trying to look for the guy, and it was kind of funny that the last one he accidentally mistaken because, hey, you know, and that was clever. The 6 and a 9 can be something you can't really understand or foresee. So it turns out the last place he was looking for was actually the wrong place he went to. So he actually went to the right place. And let me tell you, Nicole Kidman's character, which we saw what was in her office, I was pretty sure and I was hoping that this was a colleague of his. I was hoping it was his protege. Kind of like what happened in Up, in a way. Like, for instance, you had the main character of Up who had a mentor, someone he looked upon, a role model. And he was looking for this crazy-looking bird. But, yeah, this is reversed, actually. It's kind of reversed. So, yeah, this guy was looking for this crazy-looking bird, and he was going to kill him, stuff him, and show the freaking audience because he got a laughingstock, became a laughingstock. While the other guy, yeah, in Up, while the main character saved the bird. This is totally flipped. That's what I was hoping. Is that the guy who had the bear, who actually interacted with the bears, he said they were a marvelous species and you couldn't kill them. And then you had the protege or the role model or the number one fan saying, well, his freaking name got tarnished, but I'm going to untarnish it. I'm going to look for that bear, and I'm going to make sure that he is known throughout history of being the one who found the bear, and then there it is in exhibit. But no, my horror freaking fact came true of the other part, which was this. It turns out Nicole Kidman was the daughter of the freaking explorer. And he was a laughingstock / he was disgraced by the guild just because he didn't want to kill the bears. The bears were very articulate and very, very special. And they looked at him saying, you should have killed one of the bears and brought him back. It's like, seriously? So that's what you guys do, is that you kill the animal you see and stuff it, and then that's kind of sad and very insensitive. Of course, it's kind of like, but on the other hand, there was another way how he could solve it, but it's kind of disgraceful. The other way, if you can solve it, is number one, look for the dead bodies of Paddington's family, his parents, or look for the bones of them. So at least the cool part is that you brought back bones of the bear, and then there you go. But of course, that's disgraceful, though. That's the messed up part. It's like, even though it's okay because it's not alive, it's still disgraceful because the bones is of his parents and is messed up. Or of a relative, and it's kind of messed up actually bringing home the bones of a relative. You're digging up their grave and doing that. It's like, that's messed up. Of course, what's even funnier is just the fact of, you could have just said, oh, my uncle's dead now. His body's laying in Peru, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go get it right now. It's like, yeah, but it's his uncle. It's messed up and horrible that Paddington sees his uncle right there. That's like, ooh, My gosh, that's creepy. That's just super creepy, you know? So she wanted to do what her father didn't do, and she wanted to get one of the bears, stuff him, and have him exhibit, thus making sure her dad, instead of being shunned from the guild, he now is reinstated even though he's dead. Yeah, and then you had this crazy thing of everything coming, and it's like, wow. But in the very end, it was very, very touching. Very, very touching. In all, I just gotta say this is that this is technically the thing that was missing from Scooby Doo and Scooby Doo 2 that was in theaters. It's the relatable story, or at least the story or the intro story, where it makes so much sense why Scooby Doo is in the movie, that is in this universe, that a dog can actually talk. Of course, the TV version of the Scooby Doo movies, well, they did do that. The only messed up part is that no one actually gives a nod to it and say, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about this movie. This movie is very, very good. So if you watched this and you didn't watch it, you should definitely watch it now because it's not goofy. My mom thought it was goofy, and as soon as she watched it, she was like, I was wrong. Yeah, it was a good one. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day.